Welcome to Double Drivel, an NBA podcast. Hello and welcome to another episode of Double Drivel. We are a weekly podcast offering a fan's perspective on the news and issues surrounding the NBA. Thank you for joining us. My name is Greg, and I am joined as always by my co-host JT. You can find us on Twitter at Double Dribblers or email us at doubledrivelpodcast@gmail.com. JT, what up, my friend?
Not too much, Greg. Having a great week. My favorite time of the year, just a few days away from my birthday. Did you know that?
I was quite aware. It's not just that I have you in my calendar like I would have always had you. It's every social media platform on earth tells you now that your birthday's coming up, that it is your birthday. You really can't miss it these days if if it's a friend of yours.
Yeah, so things are good. And the NBA season is in full swing, and it's so great already. It's been fantastic.
It has been very good. So we got some great stuff to talk about. We got Golden State struggling, Lonzo Ball and his progress so far. We're going to check on the Hornets and the Jazz and how they are doing. We have the NBA Twitter Hashmojis, and we got a bunch more, but we're going to start with Mr. Bobby One Punch Portis. I know you were really into this and really excited about this story. Why don't you talk about what happened with Bobby Portis at Chicago Bulls practice?
Practice, Greg. Not even during a game. Bobby Portis apparently,
as the great Iverson would say, we're talking about practice, man.
He fucking cold cocked his teammate Nikola Mirotic and fractured his orbital bone, Greg. In it, the bone kind of setting that holds the eyeball of your face, which is in your head, it's cracked. He cracked this part of his teammate's face bone,
and gave him a concussion, right?
Yeah, I mean, with that kind of trauma, I mean, you're talking concussion, no doubt.
So what is going on at Chicago Bulls practice that this is going on? Do you think Fred Hoiberg has any control of what's going on? Are there any assistant coaches? Like, what exactly is happening that this can actually escalate to this point?
I have a take that is, of course, 100% speculation, and I know you love those. Okay, so you don't see this type of injury too much in the NBA. However, you do see this, I won't say often, but more regularly in mixed martial arts because, yeah, these guys are punching each other in the face with 4-ounce gloves. I don't think this type of injury happens if two guys are squared up with each other, and this is in the NBA setting, flapping their gums, pushing, and then eventually like throwing a little shot. I think Portis sucker punched him.
Wow. That's a hot take.
I think I don't think Mirotic saw this coming at all. I see Portis loaded up, right, with the big dominant hand coming up from behind and just blasting him.
Well, so what if you're just thinking, because you're obviously assuming that's how he had his guard down so much and got hit so hard. What if he's just assuming what if you're assuming it's because he's at practice and he's with his teammates that he can let his guard down a little bit and he's not going to get punched in the face? You think maybe that's it?
Well, I mean, my idea is that you don't receive a shot like this without see it coming at least a little bit, because there's going to be some type of buildup, whether they're,
there was buildup. They said they were going at it.
Yeah, so there's got to be something. So if two guys who are, building all this tension, building towards this one event, you would think that they're also on the defensive a little bit. They're not going to let their guard down completely, which is why I think, maybe Portis just snuck up on him and just gave him a haymaker from hell.
But with all the buildup, with any sort of thing, it got to the point where they're punching each other or somebody's getting punched. You don't feel like anyone should have jumped in, any sort of teammates or anything at that point, and just realized things were escalating and just get between them before this happened. That's where I just feel like it's completely out of control if this is happening.
I mean, yeah. That's a less fun avenue to talk about, but of course, yes. You would think
I'll stick to the rampant speculation, thank you.
You would think that there's plenty of fucking handlers and assistant coaches monitoring these millionaire athletes and making sure that they don't get caught up in this petty shit. So what's going on in Chicago? I have no idea.
Yeah, but sometimes, you just think that. Who knows what's really going on?
Who the fuck knows? Yeah, it could be anything.
For real. It's a mess. All right. Well, let's get to something a little more fun. The Golden State Warriors.
Don't shit on that. That was fun.
Oh, well, this is a lot of fun too. The Golden State Warriors are 1-2 right now, and I don't think anyone expected them to have 2 losses at this point. I think that their arrogant asses and everybody else had blown smoke up their asses all summer and told them how great they were and how they weren't going to lose any games next year, and they were just going to get handed another title. And I don't know. I was skeptical of that, and it looks like there was a reason that they don't seem to have their shit together right now. Curry and Durant ejected the other night in a loss versus Memphis, and Curry threw his mouthpiece like a little bitch. I mean, there's no other way to put it. He just threw his mouthpiece like a little bitch.
He threw it at the ref, Greg. He threw it at the ref.
Well, did you see Steve Kerr and his sarcastic reply? Oh, they need to get rid of him for 10 games for doing that. Oh, no, that's fucking bullshit. Everybody else in the league can keep themselves under control and not throw their mouthpiece at all, nonetheless, in the direction of an official. It's insane. So you can't let that shit go down. You can't let them get special treatment. But their heads are getting big. You can see how it's going. Durant thinks he is unbelievable, and Curry does too, and they're not playing that great. They're losing.
Something's up there. Something is up in Golden State, because this is not the way it felt or looked last season. And you would think if there was, I think something's up with Durant, something having to do with the way the team views, the way he spent the offseason with his silliness on Twitter and whatever.
He spent too much time with that Cole Cashwell guy, and it's just been nothing but just an anchor around his neck.
That's like, if you think there's only one Cole Cashwell, which I don't think. I think there's more. There's got to be more.
There's probably a Colisha Cashwell, and I mean there's at least one female that was defending him, under his name. So I can't even imagine what that guy's going on.
They're not playing great basketball. You're losing to Memphis, and you're getting your best 2 players ejected in the process at the end of the game. Like, getting ejected at the end of the game is the worst you could do in that type of situation. I mean, sometimes like a coach will purposefully say something to a ref to get himself ejected to, motivate his team. That's a tactic, but for your 2 stars to get ejected at the end of the game, I mean, you're not in control there. I mean, you're doing this because it's spiraling a little bit. So
Durant's was a very Me Too way of getting kicked out. Like, he didn't have anything to do with any of it. Like, why did he even get involved to that degree?
It was tag along. It made no sense. I mean, that's exactly what you don't want someone like him to do in that situation, because you would want that other heavy duty offensive power to be there. So they need to check themselves a little bit, because this isn't what you want.
No, it's one thing for Draymond to act like that, but when Durant's responding that way, that's not cool. And then to flick off or actually flash his ring finger to the crowd on the way out. But even that, other people have titles, dude. LeBron doesn't handle himself that way. As they say, act like you've been there before. All right? Like, just get your shit together. Act like a man.
Yeah.
Flashing your ring at the crowd. in Memphis. Those people have nothing. They have some barbecue and they have FedEx. I mean, what more do those people have? You need to shit on them and show them a ring? Come on.
That team needs to settle a little bit. They need to settle into being who they are, which is supposedly a super team, and everyone was talking about them being a dynasty, and it hasn't showed up yet. So straighten up, boys.
Deflate those heads a little bit. And I don't think Steve Kerr helps. He looks like he's just enabling it right now with his replies, like he's just with them. So that's it. They want to keep losing games. Keep going that way. Did you see the Lakers at all yet? Have you watched Mr. Lonzo Ball play any of the 2 games?
I haven't watched them play live. I've just caught up on the highlights.
So we all saw the highlights on opening night when Patrick Beverly just tore him up. But Patrick Beverly is an unbelievable defender. So I couldn't judge the young man by that. I can judge Patrick Beverly, and I would say that he is an animal. That guy played defense like you want people to play defense. And before the game, him standing outside the locker room screaming that he wanted a piece of him and that he was a little bitch, and that he didn't say exactly who it was, but he just referred to him that he wanted. And I think that's really great. I mean, if you're going to get things going, that's how you do it. And that's the kind of stuff I would expect from Patrick Beverly. But that was wonderful. I love that. And he did get things flipped around, though, against Phoenix, which is an awful team. An absolutely terrible team. He was 1 assist away from a triple-double.
Phoenix, I think Phoenix might be the worst team in the league.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like watching them play, just the one game and then seeing some highlights, they're not doing well.
They're disgusting. Yeah, they're pretty terrible.
Do you remember that they were one of the teams in the running that they were saying Kyrie was meeting with, and there was a chance he was going there? Could you freaking imagine? Like, what the hell? Like, what kind of reporting is that? Or did he really? Was there a possibility? There's no way.
Maybe he fielded a phone call, and if he did take a phone call, I guess it's fair game to report that. So why not? I don't think it's going that much better for him in Boston than it would be in Phoenix if he was there.
You're really down on Boston. We should talk about that a little bit. What do you think of what the Celtics have going on? I mean, they had the horrific injury, but there was even Kyrie leaving the court the other day when they were playing the 76ers, and the fan was yelling something about him and LeBron, and he told the guy to suck his dick.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on? What are these people? They never responded to fans.
No.
We've talked about how many things so far, like 3 different things, and we've talked about multiple people responding to fans or interacting with fans somehow. That's insane.
Yeah, he told that guy to suck his dick. The guy got it on video. The league fined him $25,000. It's the second game of the season. What do you think every fan's going to be screaming at this guy for 80 more games?
Has he ever been to Philly? Those are the biggest bunch of assholes on earth. That's their job.
God. I haven't decided which game I'll be going to this season, but if I might have to yell that to him myself if I see him. I mean, if he's going to get it.
If he's going to get it from anybody, it might as well be from you. And the people around you will high five your ass if you're right by the tunnel and you're screaming at him at the way out. That's beautiful.
Don't give us any ammunition, man. I mean, like, is that something you're sensitive to? I mean, come on.
Thin-skinned little bitch. That's him, man. That freaking guy. You got into his aura, man.
Yeah.
Insane. All right. After the break, we're going to check in on the Hornets. We're going to check in on the Jazz. And we got the NBA Hashmoji that they're calling it, the Twitter hashtags. We're going to go through some of the best and worst of those. Stick around. and welcome back to Double Drivel. Thank you for joining us. I'm Greg with my co-host JT. You can find us on Twitter at Double Dribblers. All right, JT, what do you have for us with a Utah Jazz update?
Jazz update at 3 games into the season. We stand at 2 wins, 1 loss. Last night we won an upset victory versus OKC. And the defense, Greg, was amazing. Stifling defense. The Jazz
it has to be, though.
What does that mean?
It means you guys are weak in other places, like offensively. So you have to stand up on defense.
And we did. And we won a game that people thought that we wouldn't, you fuck. And and the Jazz are developing this identity. They don't have a superstar per se, but it's turning out into this kind of, at least for now, a balanced kind of offensive effort. We got 4 guys all averaging about 14 points a game, which is kind of okay. As long as the defense is amazing, which it has been, things are good.
Well, that's what we said was going to have to happen in the West because there's some high-scoring teams out there, and Oklahoma City is one of them. So if you guys kept them down, then that's your first test, and looks like you passed it.
Kept Westbrook, Greg, to 6 points.
That's pretty damn good. Not a lot of people did that last year.
No, 6 points on 2 for 11 shooting, which is, we'll take that all day.
All right. So if there's any other questions I could ask about the Utah Jazz, I don't know. What
would
it be?
You don't care, shithead.
Did anyone have the poops? Possibly. Anything like that happen? Any any sort of issues in that way? Any players miss any games for any reason? I think I had noted.
I think I know what you're talking about, and we did have a player who missed a little bit of play time with some gastric distress.
And I think it's just slightly important who that player is. Who was that player?
Rodney Hood.
Rodney, I don't show up for the playoffs, but I show up for this toilet seat in game 2 all day long. What is up with this guy? What is going on? What is up with Rodney Hood? This guy, you need him. All we've talked about is the lack of offense on your team. And this guy does this to you? Was Michael Jordan ever out with the poops? Was that a thing? Michael Jordan had something called the flu game. Okay, this isn't. What is this guy doing? And was he eating at the same sandwich place that Gordon Hayward ate last season? What is going? Wasn't that in the playoffs too? Oh my God! I guess better for it to happen right now in October than for them to have these issues in the in the spring. My God.
He has an emotional stomach. Okay, I can relate to this. So. It's not his fault, Greg. He just cares so much that it affects his body. Yes, he had the poops, and he couldn't play this.
There's nothing better than saying the poops. I mean, it may be the most juvenile thing on the planet, but that's why he was out. That's what it said. That's what I think one of the tweets we saw said, and made me laugh then, and is still making me laugh now.
And we will not fault him for this, but he'll come back stronger because of this.
Yes, he will. All right. Well, we'll move on to Charlotte, and they are 1-1 at the moment, and they lost to a decent, I'm telling myself, Detroit Pistons team. And they won against a very bad Atlanta Hawks team. And watching them play, they're a middling team. I mean, I am staring at the most middling of teams. I can't imagine that they're going to be anything higher than an 8th seed just watching them play, because a lot of these teams are better, especially in the East. I've watched just last night, Orlando beat the Cavaliers. That was a great game. I mean, they tore up the Cavaliers. They didn't just beat them. So the Magic are better than I think people expected. There's a lot of teams in the East that are going to be sleepers, and the Hornets are not one of them.
What does that mean, Greg? Sleepers?
Did you expect Orlando to be good? Is that one of the things you expected?
What does good mean? Like, to make the playoffs in the East, I don't think that makes you good.
Yeah, but you keep saying that. I think that these are decent teams. I don't think that they're just going to be walkover teams like everybody thought. I think once they play reasonable teams, they're going to get wins like they always would have. I don't think they're automatic W's if you play the Magic. And, God, I can't think anybody else at the moment. But I at least know the Magic. They look good. They look solid last night, and I was impressed.
Good. They're not that good.
We'll see, man. We'll see. Vucevic has many, many more points than I ever thought that he could possibly score, and he had a bunch versus the Cavaliers, and he's had a bunch in their other games. So, I don't know. They look pretty all right. We'll see. So, but not impressed with the Hornets. I'm going to tell you. Buzz City, not where I want to be. But, fandom, that's what happens.
Highs and lows.
And I say Buzz City, and that brings us to the Hashmoji. Now, the Charlotte Hornets have their Hashmoji. Now, I'm not sure if the teams picked these or if the NBA. I mean, the teams must have submitted to them. I'm sure the NBA reached out to them and said, you need a hashtag name. I think they started this last year, and some of them still seem to be the same as last year. But some of them have changed, and there are some lazy ones on this list, JT, and it is pretty bad now. There's teams that just put no imagination into this at all, like the Celtics, Knicks, Rockets, and Pacers. It's just their names. It's just Pacers, Rockets, and so on. That's completely lazy. Why? Why do that, JT?
Yeah, tag me in on this one, partner, because I got the fire.
I'm sure you do.
They don't. Okay, so this is a Twitter thing, and what a hashmoji is when you type it, the hashtag, and then whatever the phrase or word is, you get a little, your team's logo pops up right alongside of it. And I love it. I think it's cool. I love it. It's like a little,
yeah, looks great.
A lot of these fuckers just mailed it in, though, because some of these teams are having these really clever things that speak to, larger picture and like tie in some other and some of these teams, they just put their name, like the Celtics, Knicks, Rockets, Pacers.
Yeah, there's no thought to that.
This is weak, okay? But it gets way worse than that. Like, what if you couldn't even think of something as plain as your name, and you wanted to have something that was way worse than that? You can do it, and some teams do it really well. Some of my favorite ones to hate are hashtag heat culture.
I don't know what that means.
What the fuck does it mean? Like, what does it mean? Like,
is it like a Pat Riley thing? Should I be slicking my hair back? Like, I'm not sure. I don't know. Like, what is heat culture?
Is this like a warm-blooded group of like people that like to think about things that make them hot?
There's a Miami thing.
If it's don't tell me it's a Miami thing, because then it has to be like Cubano sandwiches and like meth.
I thought they were more bath salts.
You think more people do bath salts in Miami than meth?
I thought so.
All right, we'll get Mitch on that, and we'll circle back around to that.
But we didn't even factor cocaine in. But whatever.
Okay. Other like especially shitty hashmojis. Hashtag do it big. Greg. Who do you think that's for? Like what? I don't, like without knowing anything, like what city or region does that like spark in your mind?
I just don't know. I mean, it doesn't make any sense for who it is.
You shouldn't know because it's stupid and it makes no sense.
Yeah,
I don't even. I don't even know who that is. Which one is that?
It's the Pelicans, the New Orleans Pelicans.
That's
doing it
so
big.
Dumb.
When I mean, you didn't just automatically put that together. Do it big, and the Pelicans. Come on.
I thought for a minute it was this other stupid one. #We go hard, which I know is the stupid Brooklyn Nets one.
Yeah, it was also the hashtag of several porns that were released last year. So
that's two letters away from "we get hard," which is terrible.
Awful.
But one, Greg. No.
Oh yeah, come on.
But one of these is far and above the biggest piece of shit that I myself had to Google this, which I don't like to do. #capital letters MFFL.
What the fuck does that mean? What does it mean? I wouldn't even look it up. I didn't even want to.
I'm going to tell you, and you're going to hate it.
Oh, I got it. Mavericks fan for life. For life.
It is indeed. Mavericks fan for life.
Yes, I solved the fucking puzzle. Oh my God, that's great. Now, that's really bad.
Who in the world thought of this, said it was okay, and convinced a bunch of other people that it was okay? This is so stupid.
Marketing genius Mark Cuban has this as his hashtag for his team.
How would Mark Cuban think this is okay?
I can't imagine. It's the worst one.
It's the worst one by far. And
Sacramento Proud is on that list, and no one from Sacramento is proud.
and we don't even bring that one up. Like, it's what the hell?
This one says "Go Spurs, go." The Spurs put no effort in. It says "Go Spurs, go," and MFFL is still worse than that.
Well, like, give me anything to work with. Like, just tell me something about you and your story. Just letters. Muffel. Like, is it like MF is motherfucker, right? Like everyone thinks of that when you see MF.
Motherfucker for life.
So it almost like motherfucking Florida. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, and they're in Dallas, but whatever.
In Texas.
Yeah, sucks for them.
God,
all right,
you guys are
we've been very negative.
Awful.
Yeah, so we took a shit on this list pretty hard so far. Anything positive you like?
There's two great ones that are better than the others. No. There's three. You put one on here that's not good.
Don't tell me you don't like Pure Magic. I thought that was pretty good. What else are they going to put? What else are they going to put? I thought that was fairly slick. Pure Magic. Pure fucking magic. Boom.
But that's not good. I mean, what does that mean? That's just your name again, and you're saying you're yes, you are indeed the team you said you were.
I am confirming that we are indeed magic in the pure form.
And then to me, it almost makes me think that all up until now, you were not in fact the team you said you were.
I don't think that's true at all. I think that doesn't imply that in any sort of way.
When it's just a word or two, I mean, they have a pretty big definition. So yeah, that one sucks, Greg. Come on.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, but it's you know what? Compared to the rest of the list, when I looked through, that one actually bubbled to the top because there's some really bad ones on here.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I mean, it's not terrible, but whatever. Some of the ones that are great, and maybe even in competition for the first place slot, is Milwaukee with #FearTheDeer, being as they
Absolutely
are the
the
Bucks.
best.
I love it.
Fear
yeah,
the Deer,
great.
the best one, hands down.
Yeah, it's cool. I like the Jazz, who have hashtag take note.
That's
kind
a
of
shock.
making reference to their Jazz note symbol, which is their kind of logo that they use differently, but usually based around that singular J note. And I'm a
sucker for a pun too, so I mean, I love that one.
I like your teams also, Greg. I like Buzz City.
Yeah, I think Buzz City works because again, a little pun works in there. But yeah, I think there's a couple that were just even ones that teams had, like Rip City for Portland. That was actually a name that they had. So they get to just use that, and it works very well for them. But there were two things that I wasn't aware of. Now, I knew that Toronto claims some sort of ownership of the North, as it were, and they have the We the North hashtag.
Right.
We the North. Now, okay, fine. I know I've seen that the past couple playoffs when they got eliminated.
Whoa,
no big
shots
deal.
fired.
But the Timberwolves also have one that is All Eyes North. Now, that makes no sense to me in any sort of way. All Eyes North. Now, are All Eyes North because Toronto is the North, as I've been told? I'm very confused about. So there seems to be some ownership issues of the northern section of things.
Yeah, I don't like. I always liked the We the North for the Raptors because they are in Canada and a bit isolated, and it had this kind of Game of Thrones House Stark tie-in, which is like the most popular show that you don't watch, Greg, because you're
it makes me sleepy. I don't like
sleepy.
It.
Yeah, but I felt they had ownership to that North, and here comes Minnesota, kind of like slipping in the back door, and I don't think it works for them. They had this cool thing. I don't remember exactly what it was last year. It was like the herd or the pack or something. And that made more sense, like wolves and pack kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
if they don't have a wolf reference, they fail.
Yeah. This is another kind of example of piggybacking on an idea that doesn't quite suit you. So suck an egg, Minnesota. Get your own Hashmoji.
Just feels like there were too many assholes in the room trying to make a decision, and that's a groupthink answer right there. All Ice North. I just feel like that's trash. So we are going to do predictions right now. What do you got, JT?
Do you think that professional basketball team from Boston will make the playoffs, the Celtics?
Of course they're going to make the playoffs, but I don't think that...
I don't know if it's Greg.
You really? You think that... All right, so you were battling me before saying that there weren't teams that were good in the East. You were telling me that the Orlando Magic, that I know are good because I've seen them play.
Because
you're telling me that they're... Because I was there. No. I watched them play, and they're good. And... they're not better than the Celtics. Celtics are going to play hard. Kyrie's obviously pissed off. I mean, he's telling fans to suck his dick and shit. So, I mean, that guy's fired up. So, if he doesn't get injured, maybe he can keep it together too. He was actually the one who I thought was going to get injured.
Oh, you felt an injury coming.
If there's too many people. There's too many people in the league, and I've been watching football this year. And it's just people have been getting injured left and right, just everywhere. And we had this in the first week of basketball. I mean, we had some season enders right off the bat with some big people. And it's just you're playing the numbers that if you have a bunch of superstars in your team and everybody's playing like they're playing, especially in Boston, they're playing hard, somebody's going to get injured. I didn't think it was going to be anything like that. I'm not going to act like I saw something like that coming, but Kyrie's knees have always been a problem. I thought that that would have been the first thing to act up.
Fair enough. Well,
almost like Chris Paul, how he played the one game for the Rockets, and now he's like old man Chris Paul. He's got to sit out a couple weeks, get his shit together.
Yeah, I mean that whole thing in Houston, I don't know if that's going to work out. Anyway, I I'm right on the fence with Boston. I'm going to go way to the other end of the spectrum as you did. I don't think they're going to have what it takes to pull together and make the playoffs. If they do, 7th, 8th seed, maybe.
Yeah, I don't think that there's any way. I mean, I don't think that even if there are better teams than I think in the East, I don't think there's any way they drop below 5th. Well, it's on tape now, so it's on like Donkey Kong. So we can always jump back and say we're going to see what's up a couple months from now.
Yeah, will do.
All right. Well, I think that was another great episode. How about you, JT?
Good for me.
Me too. We're going to be back next week with another episode. In the meantime, you can follow us on Twitter at Double Dribblers. You can email us at doubledrivelpodcast@gmail.com. Subscribe to the show on iTunes, Podbean, or Google Play. And until next week, see you on the internet.